Cool. So, there's my friend. All right. Let's start off seated or kneeling, whatever feels good for you. Right. Okay. It's fun because some of the cameras don't mirror, or they're mirror on my screen and not for everybody else. And it's like, what's right and left anymore? I don't know. All right. So let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall, whatever feels best in your body. And then we can allow the eyes to close for a moment. Take this opportunity to actively tune in to what's happening around us. Not only noticing the sounds of the winds, the traffic, and the conversations, but also the smells and the temperature, for better or for worse. And then we allow all that to fade into the background, like the blurry part of a picture, as we start to tune into our body, scanning from the top of the head to the soles of the feet, noticing, how does your body feel? And from our bodies, we start to tune into the breath, noticing how fast or slow each breath takes, how deep or shallow each inhalation is flowing. Even if we're breathing into our belly or into our chest. And finally, tuning in to our minds, noticing what's going through our minds. What is our mental and emotional state in this moment? And from here, we take a nice deep inhalation through the nose, sighing it out of the mouth. Let's go ahead and open the eyes while we wait for the cops to fly by. This is my day every day. I like it. All right, so we're gonna make our way into a child's pose, sitting those hips back and down into the heels, reaching the arms out long in front of us. Yeah, noticing what we're feeling in our back and our hips today. And then we start to walk the hands over to the left side of our mat, placing the right hand on top of the left. And as we do that, we reach the fingers out long, press those hips back. And taking that on the other side, walking the hands over to the right side, left hand on top of the right. Again, as we press the hips back, reaching the fingers long, trying to find the stretch on the outside of the left side of our torso. And back into center as we come up to all fours. Alrighty. We're gonna take a few rounds of our cat and cow poses. So as we inhale, we drop the belly, lifting the chest to look forward. And as we exhale, hollow out the belly, rounding the chin in. And inhale, drop the belly, really press those shoulder blades into the upper back. And as we exhale, spread them nice and wide. Last time, inhaling into our cow. And exhaling cat. Good. As we find neutral, let's go ahead and walk the feet back into a plank. And lifting those hips up and back into a down dog. We'll be here for a little while, so take whatever movements feel good in your body. Actively trying to press all those knuckles where your fingers meet the palms down into the mat. And as we start to find stillness, think about pressing the hips up and back, trying to get your belly towards your thighs. And slowly we'll start to walk all the way to the front of the mat. Bending the knees as much as you need, letting the belly rest on your thighs in our forward fold. You can gently sway side to side if that feels good, or remain in stillness, just letting the shoulders and head be heavy. And with a nice deep bend in the knees, firm up your belly as we roll all the way up to stand. Get a couple sun salutations. We'll inhale, reach up tall. And exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway lift, finding that flat back. And as we exhale, the hands come down, stepping the right foot back and then the left, finding our plank pose. From plank, we shift the shoulders forward, lowering those knees down, lower halfway down, hug the elbows in, and all the way to the mat. Inhale, lifting our chest into cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. From our down dog, we'll lift the right leg up behind us and step it all the way forward between the hands, pausing for a breath. And then stepping the left foot to the front of your mat. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, we reach the arms all the way up to the sky, and on the exhale, we're going to back down, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Exhaling, hands to the mat, stepping that left foot back first, and then the right. There we go. Pausing here, again, pressing those knuckles down into the mat. Just like we did in our cat pose earlier, try to round the upper back, spreading those shoulder blades nice and wide. And then we shift forward, knees down, we lower halfway down, releasing to the mat. Inhale, lifting the chest into cobra, and exhaling, downward dog. We'll float that left leg up to the sky. And step it forward between the hands, pausing in our lunge for a breath. And right foot steps forward to meet the left. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling down. Inhale, we reach the arms all the way to the sky. Exhaling, hands to the heart. And release. All right, starting to find our chair pose. So let's sit those hips down and back. Reach the arms forward and up. Yeah, squeezing those glutes, engaging our belly. We'll take one more breath in our chair. And exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway up. Exhaling, hands to the mat, step or hop the feet back. Lowering through your chaturanga. Inhaling into our back bend. And exhaling, downward dog. Let's float the right leg all the way up to the sky and then step it forward between the hands. Finding our warrior one. So back heels down. And square those hips and shoulders forward, reaching up nice and tall. And we try to find that little tuck under, that lift up at the front of the hip bones in our warrior one. Next, exhale, hands come all the way down to the mat. Stepping back into our plank. Go ahead and take your chaturanga, if you like, into your back bend, or go straight to your down dog. I see you all on the decline now. I'm gonna keep that in mind, I promise. Let's inhale the left leg up to the sky. And then step it forward between the hands, finding our warrior one here. Really working to find those nice squared hips, firming up that right glute. Two more breaths in our warrior one. And on our exhale, hands come all the way down. Stepping back into that plank. Once again, moving through our chaturanga. Inhaling through your back bend and then meeting in down dog. From down dog, we bend the knees, look between the hands, exhale, step or hop to the front. Inhaling halfway, lift flat back. Exhaling forward fold. Sitting those hips down into our chair, we reach the arms forward and up. Inhaling all the way up to stand and letting it go. One more time like that, hips sit back. Inhaling the arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step or hop back. Yeah, find your chaturanga, hugging those elbows in and then inhaling into your back bend. Exhaling into our down dog. Starting with our left leg, left foot floats up to the sky. And step it forward between the hands, warrior one. There we go, keep that back leg nice and straight, firming up our quads. One more breath. Exhaling, hands down, stepping back into your plank. Go ahead and take that chaturanga if you'd like, or again, skip it and go to your down dog. Next, inhale, right leg flows up to the sky. And step it between the hands, warrior one. Knit those ribs together for our last breath here. Exhaling, hands down to the mat, stepping back into our plank, taking our last chaturanga for a little while, and then inhaling into our back bend. Exhaling, downward dog. From downward dog, we bend the knees, look between the hands, exhale, step or hop forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling, forward fold. Sitting those hips back into our chair, reach the arms up. Coming all the way to stand and release the arms. All right, natural transition. If you need a towel or water, feel free. Thought that landed on my laptop, I was gonna be really sad. So what I was talking about with the decline, I know it's really subtle when you look at it, but when you're on it, not so much. We're gonna be doing a decent amount of arm balancing. So if that does feel weird, feel free to turn around and then you can face that way. All right, so let's come on to our backs. All right, so for this, we're gonna be going through it 2 times through. So the first movement is like this. We're gonna roll all the way back, the knees come into the chest. I'm gonna come all the way up to sit and then reach one arm up to the sky. All right, so let's go ahead. Rock back and forward, lifting one arm up, going back, and then the other arm up. You can continue with the one hand, the single arm variation, or you can reach both arms up. But whichever you do, reach up nice and tall. Nothing like rolling around in the grass, makes you feel like a kid again. I'm happy. Last 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up to sit and pause here, straightening out those legs. All right. So I'm gonna recommend pointing the toes since most of our hamstrings aren't like super rubber bandy. All right, for here, you can have your hands out long by your hip, by your knees, or up and overhead. We're gonna lift our right leg up 10 times. Ready? And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Left leg, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. So we're gonna do that wide, taking the feet as wide as your mat. But this time, you know how when we rolled up early and I said, make sure we sit up nice and tall? We want that same extension as much as we can. So, lifting up tall in the ribs. Again, hands can be between your legs if you like. I know it's like Simon says. Right leg 10 times, ready, let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I know it's not comfortable. 3, 2, left leg, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. All right. Coming on to all fours now. All right, and then shimmy your way all the way to the back of your mat. All right, we're taking bear crawls. So again, as the hands, fingers are wide, press those knuckles between the fingers and the palms down into the ground. We'll lift those knees up about 1 inch or 2. Begin to walk forward towards the front of your mat. When you reach the front, we go backwards. There we go. Finding a little bit of strength and stability in those shoulders. Keeping those abs engaged the entire time. All right, 10 more seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. Go ahead and lower those knees down for a moment. This next movement is a bunch of stuff all wrapped up into one. So I'll explain it and I'll give the modifications once we start. The first movement is a forearm plank. From forearm plank, I'm gonna try my best to use my toes to push me forward, and then downward dog. All right, so if you want the slide and your mat doesn't cooperate, you're welcome to take it in the grass, but again, that's forearms down, shift forward, downward dog. All right, let's try it out and now see how we need to modify as we go. So really think about using those toes to help you go from that forearm plank into your chaturanga. There you go, go ahead and begin. Yeah, nice. Now for everybody, well for both of you, try to hug your elbows in, not splaying them out to the sides. For you, what I want you to do is take the chaturanga and then down dog. Yeah. All right, everybody, we've got about 10 more seconds. Either taking that variation or going through your plank into our down dog. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Let's come to the back of our mats into a nice deep squat. Our shoulders feeling. Yeah, good. Good. All right, from our nice deep squat, our malasana, we're gonna lift the hips up into a forward fold. So those are 2 movements, sitting down into our squat and up into our forward fold. So taking those at your own pace. Every time we sit down into our squat, finding that openness of the hips, and every time we fold, keep the belly engaged, trying to pull yourself closer to your thighs. 5 more seconds. And bring our butts all the way back down. Okay. So I'm gonna show a variation, and if you don't want it, that's okay, I won't be offended. So we're gonna do that whole thing all over again, starting with our rock into our sit. If you like, you can cross one leg behind you, coming up to kneel. And so again, in quicker motion, it looks like. Or do both feet on the ground. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. We've got 30 seconds starting now. The leg cross is just a little bit of extra. We've been working on a lot of hip mobility the last couple of weeks. Almost there. 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. Come up to sit. All right, once we're sitting, legs out long. Go ahead and point those toes firm up our quads, sitting up as tall as we can. Left leg up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Right leg, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Widening those feet out now. All right. Take your arm variation overhead or reaching in front of you. Right leg, 10, 9, 8, 7. I know the wider they go, sometimes the harder it gets. Left leg, 10. All right, take your last 3 and done. All right, now it's time for our bear crawls again. Instead of going forward and back this time, we're gonna go in circles. So once those knees are up, start to turn clockwise. There we go. It's like there's a, your axis is in your belly button. Once you're forward again, go ahead and face the other direction. All right, nice. Oh yeah. All right. Moving back into our forearm plank. So again, the full variation is forearm plank, chaturanga, down dog. If that's not working, take the chaturanga into your down dog. All right, 30 seconds. Here we go. Doesn't need to be fast. We just want to keep our abs engaged and get a little heat in those shoulders. Almost there. We've got 8 seconds left. Last 3, 2, 1, and time. Let's find our malasana. Nice deep squat. All right. And then start to shift, transition between our malasana and our forward fold at your own pace, following the tempo of your breath. But again, every time we lift those hips up, engage your belly. Last 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. Feel free to come all the way up to stand. We'll take about a minute, and we're gonna find a crow pose. I think that's what the part needs is more dogs. But then I'm always torn though because more dogs equals more dog poop. So. Say again? All right, so I'll start talking about our crow pose. If you feel like you're gonna fall forward, then turn around and try it out. It's gonna take more than fingers, not to. So the reason we went to our squat stretch is because I like to start it from a nice deep squat. The hands are shoulder width apart, just like our plank or chaturanga. If you don't have a really comfortable crow practice, let's go ahead and hug the elbow, knees on the outside of the elbows. And then we bend the elbows. You can either kick your butt or come to boat. Yeah, let's play with it. We got about 90 seconds allotted to this. There you go. So we really want to think about squeezing those elbows towards one another. Area, if it feels comfortable for you, you can always place the knees on the back of the elbows. Now, remind me to do that one more time. Here, so you're this one down. Good. Yeah. Good. And then let the palm come down. All right. Cool. Next time, yeah, let's come all the way up to stand when you're done with your crow pose. We're trying to build up towards side crow. So we're gonna start working on a little twist now. So from the top of our mat, let's sit those hips back and down into our chair, reaching the arms forward and up. And go ahead and walk those feet a little bit close, actually all the way together. We'll bring the hands down to the center of the chest. And on your exhale, bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. If that's too far, let it rest on top of the knee. Try not to sit our hips a little bit lower than our chest. Firm up your belly instead of letting it rest on your thighs. One more breath. Next, inhale, we come through center. And on the exhale, we twist over to the right. Again, we want to find the engagement. Let that left hip glide back so your knees are right next to each other. Last breath. And then on our inhale, reach those arms forward and up, finding our chair pose. And exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, hands to the mat, step or hop the feet back. Finding your chaturanga. Inhaling through your back bend. Meeting in down dog. Next, inhale, we'll float the right leg up to the sky. Stepping in between the hands, finding a high lunge. And so keep that back heel off the ground as we reach up tall. Now for both of you, think about kicking your heel outwards a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Now those hands come down to heart center, nice deep inhale. On the exhale, we twist to the right, same thing. The twisting to the left. I'm sorry, I just realized that it cut off. Yeah, find that revolve lunge, 2 more breaths. Next, inhale, reaches the arms to the sky. Let's go ahead and step all the way to the front of our mat, finding a chair pose. Coming all the way up and release the arms. All right. So now we're going to transition between the 2 of those. So feet together once again, finding our chair pose, hips down and back, floating those arms up. Hands come down to the center of the chest. And on your exhale, we twist to the left. Now start to look down at the ground. Lift your right heel up. And if you can, go ahead and step that foot all the way back into our evolved lunge. If you need to come out of it slightly to find it, you're more than welcome. One more breath here. Look down at the mat. Once again, step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale through center. Exhaling over to the right. Once you're set to your twist, we look down at the ground. Lift that left heel and step it way back for our evolved lunge. Keep that back leg nice and firm. Keep the belly engaged. One more breath. Start to look down at the mat once again, stepping that left foot forward. Let's reach the arms forward and up. Chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, hands to the mat, step or hop the feet back. Find your chaturanga. Into your back bend. Exhaling into our downward dog. From down dog, we bend the knees, look between the hands. Exhale, step or hop forward. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Reaching those arms all the way to the sky. Exhaling, hands to the heart. And release. All right. Next up, side crows. As I promised. For if crow like in the center was, I don't want to say bad enough. If it was challenging enough, then just take the crow pose. Otherwise, we're going to sit down into a nice deep squat. I think the easiest way to come into it is by lifting the heels and bouncing on our toes. All right. The hands are going to come over to the left side of your body. So just like our chair twist earlier, we want to try to get the elbow to the pit of your knee if you can. And then separate those hands about shoulder width apart, so at least a foot or so between them. All right. From here, we lift the hips up. Our goal is to get that hip all the way over to the left. Maybe it rests right there. Nice. And then you have the option, bending into the elbows, lifting those feet up into your butt for our side crow. Try turning around. Yeah, there's a lot more of there's a steeper angle of it the other way. Nice. There we go. Try to get your butt even closer to that left elbow. Perfect. Nice. Okay. If you're playing with the side crow, let's try the other side out. Reminding ourselves as we go in and out of these, we don't have to take ourselves super seriously. If you fall, don't worry. The furthest you're going to fall is a couple inches. So we have fun with it. Nice. Yeah. Good. Take it. No, you're right there. So can you, yeah. Now bend your elbows more. There we go. I think that's the part right there. So as you lean forward, it's like you're making a shelf with your triceps. Nice. Get your hips up a little bit higher. Yeah. It is. It's a big pose. All right. We are done with our crowing. So go ahead and take about 45 seconds. Do whatever you need. Water, towel, wrist circles. So we're gonna get away from the upper body a little bit because of that very reason. I know it's a lot of risk, so I wanted to get it out of the way early. Let's get into a lower body now. Yeah. So first and foremost, we're gonna reverse lunge and kick back. So taking a nice big step back with our right foot. You can have your hands on your hips, you can have it at your chest, even overhead, whatever feels good for you. But from your lunge, we lean forward and then lift the back leg up. So it's not a full warrior three. We just want a little squeeze and step back. So bend the knees, lunge, kick back. Go ahead and join me if you haven't. And even in that back bend, we are working, even in our kickback, we're working not to make it a huge back bend. Just engaging those glutes. 12 seconds left. Jedi moves. Last 3, 2, 1, and time. All righty. Switching legs. Left foot back, right foot forward. 30 seconds begins now. Lean and kick. Yeah, so that bend in the back knee can be as deep or as shallow as you need it. It could be a little bend and a little lift. There we go, making that your own. Awesome. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. from the back of your mat. These are called walkouts. So with the feet about as wide as your mat, we hinge forward at the waist, hands come to the mat, come all the way out to a plank pose. Once you're in your plank, we step the left foot to the outside of the left hand for a nice big lunge. And then that left arm reaches to the sky for a twist. And then we're gonna alternate that. So stepping back, and the other foot steps forward and twist. Keep moving just like that at your own pace, following your breath. And again, every time we try to, we step into our twist, straighten that back leg as much as you can. There we go, not just straight, but finding engagement in those quads and glutes. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Walk those hands all the way back in, coming up to stand. So the idea is we've done a lot of engaging here for our pro pose and the prep poses. So we're working on the other parts of our hips now. Curtsy lunge, left foot steps behind the right knee. Left knee steps behind the right heel. From our curtsy lunge, that leg kicks to the side, and then we switch. So it's a curtsy lunge into a lateral kick. Only kicking as tall as we can still stand up tall. So again, this can be a little kick. It can be a little bend in the knee. There we go, 10 more seconds left. Last 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. Seal jacks. Let's reach the arms straight out in front of you. We're gonna do the half seal jack first. So we tap our right foot open, out to the side as the arms open, and together, left open and close. So you can keep going just like that for a low impact version, or you can do both legs together, like you're an actual seal. I usually make the sounds, but when there's people in front of me, there we go, 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. Now we take those feet nice and wide, wider than your mat. Just turning the toes out slightly, reaching those forearms straight out in front of you. Let's bend into the right knee for a lateral lunge. Reach the arms overhead, reach them forward, center. Over to the other side, overhead, forward, and center. Good, just like that, moving side to side. You're welcome to either straighten both legs in between or keep the hips low, gliding side to side as we do this. Now, every time we reach those arms overhead, try to keep the ribs knitted together, encouraging that much more engagement in our belly. Last 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. Let's do it again. Last time through this one, reverse lunge into kick back. Starting with our left foot. Go ahead, step back. Lunge as deep as feels good. Lift it. If you find balance is an issue today, find something that's not moving off in the distance. Make that your spot to focus on. Seven seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. Continue on. There we go again. Make this your own. Make it as big or as small as you need in your body. If we're just working on balance, make it small. If you can, control it all the way throughout. Learning what part of this becomes unstable for us, if any at all. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, let's walk out into our plank once again. This is our step forward into our lunge twist. So once you're ready, 1 foot steps forward, reach that arm up to the sky, and continue alternating. If you like, you can add a jump switch instead, or you can continue to step the feet back. Yeah, nice big breaths. 10 seconds left. Last 5, 3, 2, 1, all the way up to stand. Curtsy lunge into our lateral kicks. All right, we got 5 seconds. Again, the movement is knee to heel, kick, and switch. Let's do it all together. Go ahead and begin as you are ready. There we go. Can we start to feel those outer hips a little bit? There we go. 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. Here's our seal jacks once again. We're going to speed it up a little bit this time if you feel comfortable with it. So arms out and begin either single leg or both legs. And eventually you get to that point where you can start to feel your outer chest a little bit. 10 seconds left. 5, 3, 2, 1, and done. All right, wide feet. Last time through our lateral lunges. All right, go ahead and reach those arms straight forward. And again, lean to one side. We reach overhead and forward over to the other side. There we go. I always appreciate seeing different people do different things because everybody's body is in a different place. Everybody's mind is in a different place. Whatever you've got, 10 more seconds. Last 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay. So we're gonna just have fun with this last one. This is our last active movement, and then we're gonna go into a little stretch. So this one is combining basically everything we've done so far. So the first part, I'm gonna come onto my back. You can use your hands this entire time. As I roll into my back, I can use my arms or my hands to come all the way up the stairs. Once you're there, the hands come down. I step back into a burpee, maybe take the push-up, and up. All right, so it's a reverse burpee and a forward burpee. All the burpees. Yeah. So I'm gonna set this for 1 minute. Let's try it out. All right, go ahead and boop, begin. We go back. So I think this is where the heel will help you now. You can step or hop. You don't have to take the push-up if you don't want to. Already halfway there. Like already. Feels like we've been doing this for 5 minutes already. All right, we've got 10 seconds left. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. I hope you found all the divots like I was there.
I've been in them all the whole hour.
Like, I'm gonna make this nice and smooth. Clunk, 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 clunk. All right. We're gonna take our last sun salutation and then do a little stretch. As you're ready, we inhale the arms all the way to the sky. And long exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway lift. Exhaling, hands to the mat, step the feet back into your plank. Let's lower all the way down into our bellies. Inhale, lifting our chest into cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. From downward dog, we shift forward into our plank once again. Come all the way down to the ground. As we inhale, we lift into our cobra, looking over your left shoulder. Exhaling down. Press all the way up to your plank and down dog. Last one, shift forward into your plank. Slowly down to the mat. Inhale, lifting, looking over your right shoulder. Exhaling down. Pressing all the way up to plank and downward dog. And from down dog, let's bring those knees onto the mat, hips on the heels, child's pose. Take the arms however feels good in your body. Focusing on those deep inhalations and long exhalations. All right, now bringing the palms together. We'll bend into the elbows, bringing the hands right behind the neck. And then walk the elbows a little bit closer to your ears, and then towards the front of your mat a little bit further, lengthening out the triceps. Two more breaths here. Extending those arms out long again. And then we'll start to walk those hands in, coming up to a high kneeling position. Once we are kneeling, let's interlace those fingers behind our back. And from here, lift up as tall as you can. Pull the shoulders back, opening up the chest. If you find a slight back bend, okay, but pull the belly button in even more. As we let the fingers go, gently sitting back into the knee. Coming on, actually, does anybody have grass sensitivity? I know, good point to ask that. No. All right, let's come all the way down onto our bellies then. We'll keep the right arm bent and straighten the left arm straight out to the side. We bend into the right knee, start to roll onto your left side, finding a stretch on the front of that left shoulder. As far as where that left foot goes, as far as where the right foot goes, it is completely up to you. The further away from your body, the bigger the back bend, so just be careful with that. And slowly we roll onto our bellies, taking that on the other side, right arm out. Left knee and elbow bend as we roll onto the right side. Last breath here. Coming onto our bellies. All right, and we make our way to all fours so that we can swing around, coming into down onto our backs with our legs bent. Starting here with our bridge pose. Go ahead and make sure the feet are as wide as your hips, close enough to touch with your fingers, and then lift those hips up to the sky. You're welcome to interlace your fingers or grab hold of your ankles or the hips, whatever variation you want. Think about tucking your tailbone under, try to point your tailbone straight to the front of your mat for one more breath. And slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. We're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee, making a little figure four. Once you have that, either stay like that or interlace those fingers around the thigh or that left shin. I'm sorry. What hand do you have? The right shin. We want to make this all about opening up that left hip. Or relax the shoulders, relaxing the head for our last 3 breaths. And then we gently let that go. Taking the other side. So once you make your figure 4, press that knee wide. And determine if you want to grab hold of the other thigh or shin. Last 3 breaths. On your exhalation, we let that go. Opening the arms out wide into a T. We scoot the hips over to the right side of the mat, letting the knees fall to the left. If there's any other twist variation that you prefer, you're more than welcome to take it. But we continue to allow our bodies to relax into this, so softening those thighs and our hips, letting the shoulders be heavy. Final breath here. We inhale back through center. Taking that on the other side, scoot the hips over, let the knees fall in whichever variation you took on the first side. Again, we want to allow our bodies to soften with each exhalation. Last 2 breaths. Carefully, we come back into center. Let's take a happy baby pose. Knees come in and wide, grabbing anywhere between your knees and your toes. But try to place your tailbone down into the ground. Feel that natural curve of the low back lifting up. Any little movements you'd like to take, feel free. And we bring the knees back into the chest. Starting to make a tight little ball, squeezing every muscle that we can find as we take a nice deep inhalation, holding it in for 3, 2, 1, exhaling all the way out long for our Shavasana. If you're outside, you're more than welcome to keep the eyes open or closed. But if the eyes are open, we allow the vision to blur over. As we notice the body, we let go of any tension that we're holding on to, from the crown of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes. Feeling the heaviness of the backside of the body with each exhalation. That gentle rise and fall of the belly with every inhalation. As we continue to lay in stillness, just as we did at the very beginning of class, we begin to notice, how do our bodies feel in this moment? The muscles, the joints, the belly, and the head, what do you feel? Asking ourselves, how do we feel mentally and emotionally in this moment? Whatever we found, we remind ourselves that this single moment in time does not define who we are or our experience in life. So if we find that we're in a good place, we appreciate it, we hold on to that, we accept that. If we're in a less than good place, then we understand that that's where we are as well. And as you're ready, we start to bring movement back into our fingers and toes, circling through the wrists and the ankles. And on our inhale, we reach the arms and legs nice and long for a big stretch. Exhaling the knees into the chest, rolling onto one side, pressing yourself up to seated as you feel ready. And as we sit up nice and tall, let's go ahead and take a nice deep inhalation. Inside, out of the mouth. Thank you all so very much for sharing your time, your patience, and your energy with me and each other. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you all next time. Namaste. I really do feel like we're just gonna roll back.
What's up with the beers?
Thank you, Rachel. The